growth, which is really good. I can stop him from kiting me, but I've got so many Zerglings right here that this is just... It's almost not even a fair battle. My army size is not only larger than his, but my composition is very good, so I'm going to run around, flank him, the Banglings, get the Marines, fungal growth, the Thors, they're not going anywhere, and I'm actually going to pull my Infestors back just so they do not get focused down, they're too valuable, and, you know, I even dropped a few into Infested Terran just to be safe, and that's going to be enough to scare him away, get rid of the reinforcements, and I definitely came out on top of that battle ahead. And if we check out the units lost tab right now, we can see that his is almost double mine. That composition of a lot of Zerglings, you know, some Infestors, some Banglings, really does quite well against Marine Thor. And some tanks would have been really good to have in there. Some Marauders might have helped out, but Marauders aren't really that good against Zerglings, so they might not have been the best choice. My creep is starting to get spread out. I did drop another 2 more over here, and I'm going to get it over on the Zelnaga. And right now, I'm at about the halfway point in the map as far as creep control goes. We go over to the Harvester count. I'm ahead 51, which is, you know, again, could be a little bit better, but sometimes you really don't want to go above 60 Harvesters or so, because at that point your army size just really starts to suffer, and I'm taking a 4th expansion. The reason I'm taking this expansion is I know that I just won that battle, and I know that I can reproduce my army, my troops, far, far quicker than he can. So, taking a look at that, it's a very good time for me to put down another expansion, and basically use it just solely for gas, because I'm already collecting minerals at a rate that's incredibly hard for me to spend. I am morphing to Lair Tech, and now that my Infestors have their Neural Parasite ability, I'm just going to morph a few more Banglings, and one thing I did in this game, and I told myself I would do it, is I would tech, and I would tech properly. I would get speed for Banglings, I would get both Pathogen Glands and Neural Parasite to see how it works out, and I've got to say, I like it, just because it makes those troops as effective as they can be, and sometimes it's like, oh crap, do I really want to drop that 150, 150? You do, because at that point, you're just dealing with such a small number of troops. And right here, my creep allowed me to catch the medevac, and before you can even get too many troops in here, I'm running in with Zerglings, I'm running in with Banglings, that Marine just, oh, that's so nasty. And right here, he's actually going to drop his Marines over here and just start working on the Extractor, that cheeky bastard that's really smart. But I'm going to rush in here with a small little pack of mutas, and all I'm really going to do is drop the medevac right there. Might not have been a good exchange just because I lost one muta, but the Marines have to retreat, and he killed my scout, my proxy Ling. Asshole. These guys, they're the Roughnecks, they feel tough. You know, just run them back, chilling. And looking at the income tab right now, 54 to 48. I guess I did put more drones back in there. Very good. Me. Yay me. I did manage to... I can see with this Overlord that I positioned over here that there is not only a missile turret, but there's also a worker over here. And if we check it out, I have a... Where is that little bastard? But I'm moving my troops out. And I've been scouting the map this entire time, so now that I know that he's expanded, I want to try to take advantage of this expansion while it's exceptionally weak. And if we take a look at his army, it's actually a pretty big-looking army. It's mainly just because of the Thors, but when I ran in there, I saw that there was a huge... Well, not huge, but I saw that there's a planetary fortress. And at that point, looking at my composition here, I do not want to lose half my army to a frickin' planetary fortress that cost him like 500 minerals. But I do see that there's quite a nice little ball of few Marines, few Thors, and a few Marauders. So again, my composition, few Roaches mixed in this time, more Zerglings, Neural Parasite, ready to rock. So let's just see what happens right here. Gonna rush in, surround them, Neural Parasiting 3 of the 5 Thors, the Marines and Marauders, they go down, and the Roaches just start working away, you know, at the Thors. And now I can focus down the Thors before they even decide that they are gonna do themselves. And right there, that's just got to be the most frustrating thing in the world, because I think that turned what would have been a losing battle for me, having Neural Parasite, into a winning battle, just having these Infestors. And right now I'm just kind of taunting him, like, haha, bitch, you're stuck in your ship and you can't help. And Thor is just so powerful. You know, Roaches, I really do not know if they're that great of a counter, just because Thors rip them to shreds. You know, you can build a lot of Roaches and they can get a good concave on Thors, but taking a look at this Harvester income tab right now, we're basically even, because we're pretty much even on that end of it, but I'm on more bases than he is, and so much oversaturation going on here, but the mules are really helping him keep that in check and keep his mineral count up, and all I'm really going to do is just use this one solely for gas right now, and I really should migrate a few of these drones down here to this base, preferably to this base, because it's further away. That would be a really good position on my part. If we take a look at the army tab right now, mine is double his. I'm morphing a lot of banglings, and the production tab shows I have +2 armor going down, and 6 more drones coming out with 2 more extractors. So that's the plan right there. And my creep, getting very far, right up into his base, actually taking over his expansion over here. So not only do I see most of what's going on the map, my army tab is bigger, and I'm getting ready to drop this planetary fortress because he really can't move these troops away. I like the siege tanks that he's positioned out here. After losing 2 attacks to a pretty light army right here, I'm actually going to run this around and then use banglings right here. These banglings were morphed for the sole purpose of blowing up this planetary fortress, and then just taking out all of the income right there. So if we check out the income tab right now, his is just going to drop way, way down because he lost almost everything right there with that base. If he cannot defeat me militarily right now, it's really going to be hard for him to keep up with me. And wow, yep, I definitely could use to migrate some of those workers, but we won't talk about that right now. So seeing that his tanks are unsieged, his infantry is moving in, I'm going to grab my troops, and I'm just going to rush in there right before the tall grass. I'm going to get my Zerglings, and a Neural Parasite, a siege tank, Neural Parasite that Thor, and rush in more Zerglings, Neural Parasite both of them. There's just really nothing you can do about that, because when I take over your heavy units, when it comes down to that right there, they do not support the army the way that they're meant to. Like right there, that siege tank instantly turned and fired right into his bald marines, and it got off several shots, and was very, very helpful, taking out the Thors in the background. They just start plunking away. They shoot at the medevacs. They force them to fly away. They shoot at the marines, basically one-shotting them at that point. They rip the marauders to shreds, and that's really how you have to win against that composition. I've tried other builds that are not infestor supported, and it's really tough to beat that composition with just roaches, mutas, and lings. You really will not get that far because the tanks annihilate the lings, and they actually do very good against the roaches. And then the mutas are really cleaned up by the Thors and by the marines. You can win the individual battles, but you don't come out with an army size like this above it. And the infestors just seem to be the key way to beat this Terran mech build right now. So thank you very much for watching. This is Malikicowtipper signing out.